now, a community is mourning the loss of 3 children and a teenager killed in a crash in central Illinois. There is a growing memorial at the building where the children attend an after-school program in Chatham, Illinois. That's about 12 miles from Springfield. 2 7-year-olds, an 8-year-old, and an 18-year-old, all of them girls, died after an SUV rammed into the Why Not Camp building and then exited clear through the other side. Before plowing into the structure, that driver went across a field, and if you look closely in the center there, you can see the tire tracks, the remnants of the path of that Jeep. CBS News correspondent Ian Lee spoke with a man who lives nearby and showed up to help.
She went through the building entirely and hit a telephone pole.
Correct.
Over there?
And I don't know if you can see this.
Nothing was slowing her down.
No. And you can see that from the size of the building. I mean, that's a pretty massive distance to travel, and then to go through at least one full sheet in wood, another gymnasium with concrete and obstacles, and then a whole other wall, and then to continue, she had to have been flying.
It's pretty incredible. Ian Lee now joins us live from Chatham. Ian, thanks for being here. What is the latest on the investigation right now?
Marie, police are trying to figure out what caused 44-year-old Marianne Akers to crash into this building behind me. And as you saw in that interview, that Jeep went right through that wall right there where you see the plywood and shot straight across. What really stands out, the questions we're kind of asking right now is when you look and you saw in the lead up, you saw those tracks in the field. Well, those tracks are going for longer than a football field. So that Jeep was traveling for quite a while from where it entered that field to when it hit this building. And the one thing we don't see either are any skid marks, any tires, any trying to slow down before hitting. These are questions that the police are going to look for answers for. We know that they looked at put out for a toxicology report from Marianne Akers. When we were speaking to the neighbor, he said that she did seem impaired when talking to police. These are all things that they're going to look into.
Sure, maybe we'll get some answers from those reports. I know a vigil is scheduled in that community for tonight, but we understand tributes are already beginning in that tight-knit town, specifically at an ice cream shop. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is a community that has really rallied, really came together during this tough time. We went over there. This ice cream parlor giving out free ice cream, free pizza to anyone who wanted to come by. We saw a lot of children there. Also spoke with a grief counselor about how you deal with something like this with a bunch of children. This is what she had to say. How does something like a pizza party and ice cream help the community?
I think the sense of normalcy can be very important, and certainly when you're talking about childhood trauma, a sense of shared experience can be very important for the children and the adults.
And Marie, these sorts of things sadly happen quite often, and this is a question we see time and time again, especially when it comes to children. How do you deal with this kind of trauma? And she really did say that, you know, it does take time for kids to really process what has happened. And so the community tonight, they're having a vigil where people can come together and still talk about what happened, really try to bring comfort to those who are suffering.
And remembering those 4 girls who lost their lives. Ian Lee live for us in Chatham, Illinois. Ian, thank you so much.